Bulletin at 2 with me, Emmanuel Josh. The chairperson of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, Clarence Masakwe, has revealed steps to make Liberia a digital monetization granting country with various social media platforms. The LTA boss said the institution has established contact with some social media service providers, including Meta, the owner of Facebook, and about Liberia's intent to register and comply with their monetization policy. Chairman Mazakwe said the move is intended to ensure that Liberians content creators receive financial benefit from their crafts by getting easy access to monetize their accounts. According to Mazakwe, Facebook, TikTok, and other social media platforms are benefiting from content posted on the internet by Liberian social media users, stating that there is a need to create space for shared benefits. The LTA boss underscored that Liberia currently faces restrictions to social media monetization policies due to non-negotiated monetization terms and agreements with various platforms. Grand Bassa County Senator Bezonga Finley has announced plans to implement firm measures aimed at curbing the trafficking and high consumption of illicit drugs in the country. Senator Finley believes drug traffickers should not be granted bail bonds and the accused must be held accountable by the full weight of the law. He emphasized the importance of ensuring that drug suspects remain in legal custody and face court trial as a deterrent to others. The Grand Bassa lawmaker pointed to the enforcement of the drug law as a critical step in addressing what he described as a growing epidemic among young people. Senator Finley reaffirmed his commitment to taking stronger action against drug peddlers and addicts who continue to fuel the problem in the lifeless body of a 51-year-old woman identified as Ellen Moore was discovered during the evening hours of Wednesday, August 6, 2025 in an abandoned Louisa Hotel in the Watco Camp Community, Harlansville Township, Grand Bassa County. The Louisa Hotel, once a functional facility, has remained deserted for over 3 decades. The hotel ceased operations before the Liberian Civil War and is now frequently occupied by disadvantaged youths and squatters. The Crime Services Department, CSD, of the Liberia National Police, one detachment of Grand Bassa County, has launched an investigation into circumstances surrounding Ellen Moore's death. Over a 15-member coroner has reported no signs of foul play in connection with her death. The commander of the Crime Services Department of Depot 1, Sergeant Isaac Dua, disclosed that early observations point to the possibility of narcotic involvement. Medical authority is yet to confirm any toxicological findings. The body of Ellen Moore, a native of Riverside County, was later claimed by her family for burial. Her death has raised new concerns about drug abuse and the use of unsafe abandoned buildings as informal shelters. Aggrieved family members of Emmanuel Payne an agent of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, had threatened to take matters into their own hands in avenging the death of their son. The family vowed to attack those they believe were allegedly responsible for the death of their sons. Agent Emmanuel was killed by mob violence on Benson Street Township of Caldwell while attempting to arrest a man suspected of carrying a parcel of drugs. Speaking in an interview with reporters when the relatives paraded with the photo of Emmanuel Payne on Bushrow Island, the relatives of the victim, including his brother and mother, said they are prepared to move on all those linked to the killing of the LDA officer. According to them, they would never bury Emmanuel Payne until Liberia government can bring those responsible for his death to justice. The Grand Bassa County Scrap Committee has announced the accumulation of 23,752 from the sale of 21 truckloads of scrap collected from Acela Liberia's concession between July 28 and August 4, 2025. Speaking on behalf of the committee, Chairman Banty Lee disclosed that 21 truckloads weighed a total of 339,310 kilograms, marking a significant boost in revenue generation for the county. According to Chairman Lee, the latest sale has pushed the total amount raised from 4 scrap transactions to 61,385, all of which has been deposited into the county's official bank account for future use. The committee reaffirmed its commitment to transparency and accountability, promising timely updates to keep citizens informed about ongoing scrap-related operations and earnings. With rising community expectations, many residents are now turning their attention to how these funds will be used to support local development and improve public service in Grand Bassa County. Former Deputy Youth and Sports Minister Isaac Doe criticized President Joseph Boakai for what he describes as a slow and reactive approach in addressing the drug epidemic. Doe accused President Boakai of failing to take concrete steps despite declaring drug abuse a national emergency during his first State of the Nation address. Deputy Minister Isaac Doe argued that the Unity Party-led administration's inaction contradicts its earlier campaign rhetoric, which strongly condemned the proliferation of drugs during the reign of former ruling Coalition for Democratic Change administration. Isaac Doe claimed that the government's recent anti-drug strategy was part of a genuine long-term agenda, but a reaction to public pressure. According to Doe, the timing of the plans released just hours before the protest reflects the Boakai-Coons administration's lack of commitment to proactively lead genuine reform. Isaac Doe believes the proposed strategy is unlikely to produce results as it lacks the foundation of early-stage planning and political will. The Executive Director of the National Rehabilitation for Drug and War-Affected Persons has commended President Joseph Boakai's recent plan aimed at combating the increase in the sale and consumption of drugs in the country. On Wednesday, August 6, 2025, President Bouaka, in a special statement, announced an aggressive multi-pronged national anti-drug action plan in response to alarming surge. The president's recent statement as the right step in the right direction. Now we called on Liberian populace to cooperate with the president in order to avoid the country turning into Haiti in the near future. The National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union have called for President Joseph Bouaka to reconsider his restrictions placed on the export of unprocessed rubber from the country. It can be recalled that on Friday, August 1, 2025, President Bouaka issued Executive Order 151 mandating a compulsory processing of raw rubbers, including latex, gobelums, bark scrap, and order, which took immediate effect, highlighted that only technically specified rubber is exempted from the mandatory processing export restrictions. But addressing a news conference on Wednesday, August 7, 2025, the president of the Liberia National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia, James Seyekia, said the executive order threatens the existence of small rubber farmers and brokers in the rubber industry. According to Seyekia, small rubber farmers and brokers lack the capacity to process raw rubber, and restricting the export of unprocessed rubber will marginalize small rubber farmers. Seyekia questioned new fiscal fees attached to the rubber sector, which include a 4% of 150 per metric ton. He argues that the slight increment in taxes also poses a challenge to small rubber farmers and brokers who sell on a low scale and do not receive subsidies from the government. The National Rubber Brokers